last time I had a video on this, we had just got done cutting it all up, and so then I just pushed it outside, and that was the end of it. I've worked a ton on it since then, and this is just gonna be like a quick kind of update. I still have a lot to do, but it's to the point where I'm riding it around and kind of getting some things figured out. So I might as well just kind of show you guys. I have another stock bike, it's my brother's bike, as an example. This is essentially what it started as. It was a red tanked Interceptor, but other than that, it's the exact same bike. If you guys didn't watch the original video, initially, the most obvious change is the frame. I cut essentially from the neck here all the way back. The whole top half has just all been cut off. Come in here, I'll show you. It's a 1.5 inch, I think, down tube, or backbone, 1.5 inch backbone, and then 1 inch legs coming back, and then I kicked it in. I've got 10-inch rear shocks on it. Just to kind of lower the seat height. It was inspired by a bike that was built in the Philippines by a shop called OK Easy. They do really, really cool stuff, and I saw their stance and kind of mimicked that, and that's just kind of how I filled in the blanks. But it's stock frame up to this point here, and then I plugged in the 1 inch tubing. Same with this. This is where it transitions from the stock frame. And then the neck up here is all stock. I just opened up that window and put some bracing in, and then connected that backbone. It's supposed to be a square, and then it splits into two. But if we jump to the front here, I can kind of go, we'll work our way back, I guess. But I took a rear rim and laced it to the front hub. So it's got that really wide, chunky rim. And then I did a little bit of shaving on the legs. I took like the front brace mounts off and a few other tabs, and then stripped the powder coat and polished them. And then I did lower it like 1.5 inches, I think, is what I ended up with. And then up here, this is gonna get relocated, but I shaved off the key boss up here. So this is gonna be nice and clean. I need to get custom brake lines made because I eliminated the ABS. So I'm gonna get longer brake lines made, and we're gonna run a different set of bars, but this is just what I'm running with the stock length throttle cable, clutch cable, and this is just one of the mini brake lines you have. I just grabbed one, bent it up, and ran it. So that's just temporary. I've got a built well throttle on it, and then just some simplified controls. Down here, you can see some of my wiring still needs cleaned up, but it's a work in progress. I eliminated the oil cooler, and I was gonna run a hose, but it's way too high pressure off this to just have like an Oetiker clamped hose. So I reused the original lines up to the fittings, the compression fittings, and I just made like a simple little crossover pipe. It's just some aluminum that I just bored through and then just put some ribs in it just for aesthetic. It doesn't really function, but these don't actually need the oil cooler. We're not doing like major hot India style like inner city traffic, so this is fine. I've got a set of Diablo pipes on it. I'm not sure which model these are, but they're made by Diablo. They're supposed to have cans on the end, but I just left them open. I really like the swoop. I like this shape. It just really, it flows well for this bike. I just put some aftermarket high tension leads there just so you have something else to look at. And then this intake is made by, it's my friend Tyler up in Minneapolis. I don't know how to pronounce the name of the company, but Baxter Cycle sells these. They're really cool. There's like a nice little, they use a K&N filter. They're super nice. I sanded mine all smooth. It normally has like a nice billet finish, but I went ahead and just kind of knocked it down, make it look a little bit softer for the vintage look. Built well seat. I knew I was going to run this seat, so I kind of tried to match these lines just to make sure the seat fit really nicely. And so that was kind of something I kept in mind since the start of all the angles and everything. This is a lowbrow peanut tank. If you come around this side, I was going to run a Summit pump, but then the more I got into it, the more I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to try and make the factory pump work. So I cut the flange out of the bottom of the factory pump, and then I made this big bulge on the side of the tank to kind of like fit it. I'm not fooling anybody. This is clearly a fuel injected bike, so me trying to hide the pump was silly. So it's like, you know what, fine, just there it is. But so this was just kind of my middle of the road, like, compromise, where it's like, it works. I'm not fooling anyone. Like I said, it's just, it's right there. It's obvious. I kind of like it. It's just quirky, you know, it's different, but, not much custom on this side, you know, this is the B side in my opinion. But, as far as, I guess, yeah, I mean, custom fender in the back, obviously. The paint job, my brother is a very talented tattoo artist, Harrison Richter. He's out of Omaha, at the Oak. He is a phenomenal artist, normally just does tattoos, but I asked him to do something kind of traditional. This is what he came up with. It's an American eagle with a British flag and an Indian flag. Obviously, it's kind of a nod to the idea that, you know, it's a American custom, Indian built, British kind of heritage, I guess. I don't know. I like it. It's very, very cool. But yeah, I'm very lucky to have him be able to do that kind of stuff for me. So I had him hit that up, and I'm loving it. But overall, it's a pretty decent stance. I'm short, so it works well. You know, I use the stock foot controls. You know, I'm a little cramped up on it, you know, but not too bad. I think it fits well. I'm going to do a little bit more of a pullback bar, so I'll have a better kind of seating position, but it's a small tank. It's just a fun little bobber to hit, you know, between short stops, and, you know, it's all for fun. But I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, but at the same time, just kind of having fun, doing something a little different. I think these platforms allow you to do a lot. It's just a matter of being kind of creative and not really caring too much. And like I said, if you get between here and the swing arm, you could do whatever you want in here. The only thing that stopped or dictated what I did was the backbone height to the engine. You know, that was where I was kind of playing with where I can hit down and drop the seat height. That was my big thing, is I really wanted to drop the seat height to exaggerate, because these are a slight drop and then it's a flat line in the back, and I just wanted to get everything as low as I could. So that's why I came up with this. And again, I was inspired by the OK Easy build, and theirs has a lot more radical lines to it, but I was trying to work within like certain parameters, I guess. But you know, these bikes really let you do whatever you want to them. At the end of the day, you can cut them up quite aggressively, and they still work. I'm having some side panels made. Obviously, this brake line isn't routed properly. I'm going to have custom ones made, like I said. But I'm having panels made. I tried making some myself. They did not turn out. I'm not a sheet metal guy. But I have a friend, Brandon McGraw. He's down in Oklahoma. He is super kind and generous, and he is going to make a set for me. So I'll have another update once I get all the brake lines. I'll do the bars. I'll have the side panels. Any other loose ends that I need to kind of tidy up. Like I said, I'm putting miles on it now finally, so I can really kind of figure out what's needing done and what I want to change, or what I like, what I don't like. But I know I want to move the bars. I don't like these, but they work for the controls for now. But there's a lot of details that are left, but for now I'm just ripping it around and having some fun.